Hello and welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend, a 10-day period that takes us to the end of meteorological autumn and the start of meteorological winter. And with high pressure in charge over the next week at least, I think it will start to feel a bit more like winter because whilst it will be mainly dry and settled with that high pressure, clear skies overnight will lead to frost and some lingering fog patches. And of course, that will help make it feel a bit colder at the same time. Something more different likely to come along for the end of next week. More on that in a moment. But before we get to the nitty-gritty, let's take a look at the really big picture and see where low pressure and high pressure is at the time of recording, because the jet stream recently has carried an area of low pressure to the UK. It's brought some very wet weather to northwestern areas so far this week. But high pressure at the same time is building across the mid-Atlantic, and that is helping to push the jet stream well to the north into Greenland and Iceland. It's amplifying the jet stream pattern. And when the jet stream becomes particularly amplified, particularly wriggly, well, it can begin to disrupt. Now, this is a ridge of high pressure in the upper atmosphere as well, where the jet stream pushes to the north. It's what we call a ridge. And where the jet stream pushes to the south, which is what's happening at the moment to the west of the UK, we call it a trough. And watch what happens to this trough. Well, the jet stream winds start to form a circle, and that leads to what we call a trough disruption. It becomes separate from the main jet stream flow, and we see low pressure over the Iberian Peninsula, some unsettled weather here by Thursday. But the main flow of the jet stream then left to the north of the UK. That's where low pressure will be carried. And in between these two lows, we end up with high pressure building across the UK for Thursday and Friday, and so frost, fog, dry and settled, and so on. Now, the jet stream, meanwhile, is a little bit flatter in the Atlantic, but another area of high pressure builds and again amplifies the pattern. And once more, we see it dive to the south, just to the west of the UK, another trough in the air above us forming, and again forming this closed circulation known as a trough disruption. And that really helps to reinforce the high pressure across the UK by the end of the weekend and the start of next week. So what all of that means basically is that the jet stream is going to be avoiding the UK on the whole, just apart from the far north there at the start of next week. And with high pressure in charge, we're going to see this sort of thing: frosty and in some places foggy mornings. This is the start of Thursday. We'll see temperatures widely around or below freezing. A chilly start, certainly a widespread frost and some fog patches. But for many, actually, it's a sunny start to Thursday. It's going to be a beautiful autumn day with crisp sunshine for most of us. Just some higher cloud there for Northern Ireland, Western Scotland. But for virtually everyone, it's dry with that sunshine, and temperatures are going to be in the high single figures. Fast forward to Friday, and again, frost and fog in places. And I think the fog will be a bit more extensive, and it's more likely to be quite widespread across northern into central and southwestern parts of England, some low cloud as well. So gloomy start, and in some places, for example, northern and central England, the fog could last all day. Meanwhile, weather fronts across Scotland and Northern Ireland will bring thicker cloud and a milder start to the day with less fog, but perhaps some patchy rain later Friday into western Scotland. Not going to last. It's not going to be like the wet start to the week, because this weather front is being taken away by an area of low pressure close to Portugal. High pressure there and there building across the UK helps to maintain the settled outlook for the weekend. That means that Saturday will start off with frost and fog again in places. Once more, dense fog patches more likely across northern and eastern parts of England, I think, and in some places that fog will last all day. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine for the vast majority, just some thicker cloud into the far northwest of Scotland and some patchy rain. Milder here, but elsewhere, typically mid to high single figures, although where the fog does linger, it's going to be a cold day on Saturday. By Sunday, similar conditions, perhaps less fog across parts of England, and for most places it's dry, settled with spells of late autumn sunshine. A beautiful crisp weekend coming up Rain staying away until later Sunday, but this weather front will just topple in for the start of next week, and you can see thicker cloud across the northern half of the UK, outbreaks of showery rain and perhaps a little milder as well. But further south, another sunny, crisp day after a frosty start. So that's how the start of next week's looking, but essentially next week it's more of the same for the first few days at least, with high pressure building in across the country and the jet stream being diverted well to the north. Here's how it looks. There's the jet stream well to the north of the UK, high pressure across the country. And so for next Tuesday, Wednesday, the first 2 days of meteorological winter, we can expect more of the same sort of thing. Frost, fog, dry, sunshine during the afternoons and so on. Now, the jet stream is being amplified once again, and you can see this dip here. Watch what happens potentially for the end of next week, but there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. This is one of the more likely things that will happen. This trough, that we'll call it, the jet stream, dives to the south of the UK, or at least to the west of the UK, and low pressure ends up around here. A lot of uncertainty because when the jet stream starts to behave in quite a erratic fashion, it's a bit more difficult to get a handle on it. And so the most likely situation for the end of next week, the most common signal across most of the computer models, is that low pressure will begin to dominate things to the west or the southwest of the UK. We're likely to see a bit more rain coming in. But it's really not until Thursday or Friday that we'll see that take place. And so for much of next week, for the rest of autumn into the start of winter, it's dry. We'll see frost and fog at night. Just that signal for it to turn more unsettled later on next week and into the following weekend. And we'll keep you updated, as always, on social media. Bye-bye.